Phoenix here, bringing you guys a recap of Super Saturday. And what a Super Saturday it was for the spoiler, the Oracle, Midas, Robin Hood. We began immediately with a correct spoiler in the Burnley Arsenal game. Again, game went, basically exactly like I told you. Arsenal will, of course, score a set piece for the first goal. It wouldn't be any other way, would it? And then, no both teams to score. 2-0 Arsenal, second half, controlled the game, died out. I will say one thing, though, that we may have learned. That was most definitely Kyok's best performance in an Arsenal shirt. His overall link-up play and his passing, I thought was exceptional. But then other than that, business as usual. Sure, they increased the gap at the moment on the others. City to play today. But like I've told you before, Arsenal's crumble is inevitable. You cannot continue playing like that. It is unsustainable. I will be there, as always, when things go wrong. Next up, Forest versus Manchester United. I said it will finish 0-0. It finished 2-2. A draw. What's the difference? 0-0, 2-2. Correct outcome. I was a bit surprised by United's start. They started really well. But then, as always, controversy struck. I thought for a second I was watching Manchester United under Fergie. How on earth can the linesman from all the way on the other side of the pitch comfortably say that the ball crossed over the line to give a corner? If you're not certain, you cannot give the corner, and there's no way he could have been certain. And sure enough, Manchester United scored from that said corner to leave Sean Dyche absolutely livid. Casemiro, as always, leading by example. But I thought it was a very balanced first half. I think a draw would have been fair. And then in the second half, the inevitable collapse arrived. 2 Forest goals in, well, super quick succession. Did you genuinely think you were going to be in a title race under Ruben Amorim? You never learn. The stuff I was hearing over the past week, Ruben Amorim himself, my God, 15 interviews I've seen from this guy over the past week. When they were losing, you'd barely hear from him. Over the last week, he was everywhere, talking, smiling. Well, back to business as usual. Great goal by Ahmad, though, to rescue a draw for Manchester United. And could have even won it, to be fair. I thought Ahmad had a really poor game overall. His decision-making was bad. But I'm seeing some mixed opinions. Certain United fans are claiming, well, a point is good. We'll take a point away Forest. But remember, most of these fans were the same ones claiming they were in a title race. If you're in a title race, there's no way you can be dropping points away Forest if you want to win that. But that's a separate point. Others are claiming, oh, the only reason there's negativity is because the hair guy, because otherwise 3 wins and a draw is fine. No. Cut the crap. You weren't good enough. The front three didn't turn up yesterday. Sesko especially, I like him. He was dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. Kinder and Bremo, you pick him up, nowhere to be seen when it comes against low blocks, like I've told you time and time again. And Cunha, who is obviously for me a fantastic player, again, even when he got the ball in between the lines, he wasn't ruthless, he wasn't clinical enough. But the issue for United in these type of games, it was there to see. Sure, got the draw, maybe in other times you'd lose the game, but it's not like all of a sudden those problems went away, like you claim because you won 3 games in a row. Those problems are still very much there. So we'll see what happens away Spurs next in a battle between, of course, 2 teams, the Europa League rematch, final rematch, 2 teams with problems of their own, because we'll get into Spurs soon. So next up, After that was the Napoli-Como game. I said 1-1, finished 0-0. Again, what's the difference? We'll take it. And let me tell you something. If it wasn't for that piece of crap, Morata, why is this guy still taking penalties? Can someone explain that to me? Como outplayed Napoli. I mean, I've never seen a team luckier than Napoli. I can't believe my eyes. Over the past 3 games alone, they got the penalty against Inter that never was in a million years to open the scoring. They had Lecce got a penalty against Napoli midweek. Milinkovic-Savic saved it. Como destroyed Napoli, especially in the first half. And Morata misses his penalty. Other than that, there was only one team trying to play football. It was Como. Napoli, every single game is a struggle. I mean, something has to change for them. They are still picking up points. You got to give credit to Conte for that. But visually, they don't look great whatsoever. And Fabregas, again, showing his ability as a manager to go away to the home of the champions. And they done the same thing last season. And play in the manner in which they have. They should have picked up 3 points. But Morata, as always, is an elite choker. Then comes the game, well, the only game that we got wrong yesterday. What on God's green earth was that? First and foremost, I'll give credit to Chelsea, but I don't think they need to get out of second gear. They're my bogey team. I don't understand. When I say Chelsea will win, they won't. When I say Chelsea will not win, then they do. So it's this. I don't understand. Maybe we need to make some specific tweaks specifically for the algorithm in the Chelsea game. I don't know. First and foremost, Bergvall. The injury that definitely affected the game. Because in place of Bergvall came on that bona fide loser. If Spurs fans, it's obviously, if you're still in denial, if you still think he's going to come good, give your head a wobble. I've told you before he even arrived. This guy is one of the most overrated players I've ever seen. And sure enough, he is struggling massively. The fact that he basically gave Chelsea as well their goal because he stitched up Van den Ven. I mean, what a terrible player. The way he plays, he doesn't enter into challenges in 100%. I don't know who he thinks he is. Even that stupid annoying face that he does when he's trying to do something and then proceed to inevitably fail, it just makes my blood boil. Yesterday, that whole Spurs performance, I mean, what was it again? The lowest amount, 0.10 expected goals created. That was absolutely embarrassing. I picked Spurs to win. Utterly shameful. If it wasn't for Vicario again, they would have lost by more. But the sad reality is Chelsea did not need to get out of third gear. Yeah, of course. The best midfielder in the league turned up again. And the levels he's playing, I've seen people scared to compare him to Conte. We need to cut this shit. He is 100% on Conte's level. And I'm one of Conte's biggest fans. I've got Conte in my all-time Premier League 11. He can do what Conte does off the ball. But then he's even better than Conte on the ball. Just 23 years of age. In disbelief how good this guy is. He was everywhere. But then the key thing that he's added this season, this is what I love when I watch these great players. They add to their game. There's still, of course, room for development. His end product this season, his shooting, but even what he done yesterday. Many people that play his position, once they would have got that interception, they would have shot the ball maybe waywardly or panicked a little bit. The guy still has the calmness and composure to slide João Pedro in for him to get the goal. So it's honestly remarkable. Obviously, he made the difference yesterday. He's made the difference in so many of these matches. Cucurella absolutely locked up Kudus, and I can't believe Thomas Frank didn't react sooner to that. Reece James was sensational. Enzo had a good game. And Sanchez, I mean, wow, he collected everything yesterday. I thought Spurs, that's where Spurs were going to get Chelsea. I thought physically there's a clear difference between the two teams. But poor delivery from Spurs, but Sanchez as well came out and collected everything. As for Spurs, I've said this before and I'll say it again. That Bentancur Palhinha double pivot. I mean, watching Palhinha trying to play football yesterday was absolutely dreadful. I mean, the difference between him and Caicedo is night and day. It's one thing winning the ball, but then when you have it as a midfielder playing in the Premier League, playing for a team that is in the top six, it's embarrassing how quickly they give it away. Only one win at home for Spurs this season. That was awful, Thomas Frank. You need to sort that out. You can look at results all you want, but Spurs do not look right whatsoever. The one positive was Romero came on yesterday and immediately Spurs elevate. This guy is incredible. But the rest of the team, Pedro Porro yesterday, oh my God, absolutely unwatchable. And of course, Xavi Simons, like I said, for me, gets the red flop. Just 60 million down the drain. Money has been spent, and it looks like Spurs are going to need to spend at least another 120 million to fix this team. They need a left winger as soon as possible. They need a striker as soon as possible. And I've said this before, when Bergvall doesn't play, which basically yesterday he didn't, it's a whole different Spurs team. They look so much worse. So big problems ahead. United next. That'll be fascinating. Next up, we had the Juventus game. The Bayern Munich game, where I said 3-1 Bayern. I was a bit worried with the lineup, but it shows at the moment the difference Bayern have compared to the rest of the league. Leipzig are the closest. They're trying to keep up pace with them. But the fact that Bayern could afford to rest all those players and still decimate Leverkusen just shows the level they're at. And shout out to Bischoff, who played left back yesterday. I expect big things from him. And yesterday was a fantastic performance. Limer as well, you definitely at the moment in the team of the season or for the season team of the season when it comes to, I mean, whether it's right back or left back, he simply has to be there. PSG got a narrow win. Marseille dropped points, which leaves the French league looking something like this. It just seems like PSG at the moment, even though they're not at their best, they're still finding a way in that league. So credit to them for that. Gonzalo Ramos came on and got the goal. Then we had Spalletti's first game in charge as Juventus manager. I was expecting a Juventus win. I thought it'll be 1-0. I thought there'll be less goals. Jamie Vardy obliterated, gutted to try and get Cremonese back in the game. But Spalletti had this asymmetrical back-to-back 4 formation, and Kostic looked yesterday like the Kostic of old, the Kostic of the Bundesliga, the Kostic of Frankfurt, which we haven't really ever seen at Juventus. And that's already a sign of great managers. They're able to get players back to their level very, very quickly. So credit to Spalletti for that. It was always going to be a Juventus win yesterday, but we'll see in the next games coming up. Now it looks something like this. Inter have the opportunity to capitalize today. Inter, Roma and Milan yet to play. Napoli remain top, but all those 3 teams have the ability to close the gap. Of course, Milan and Roma go head-to-head. Como are there in the top 6. Atalanta got their first defeat of the season. Juric, for me, has to go, even though it's his first. And then, of course, we had a couple of big matches in the evening, which we got absolutely spot on. We'll begin with Liverpool-Villa. I said Liverpool 3, Villa 1. Finished 2-0 Liverpool. First and foremost, what a game from Gravenberch. I thought he was man of the match yesterday. Absolutely sensational the way he dictated the tempo. Yes, Aston Villa were terrible. I mean, they tried to play out from the back against a team who has publicly admitted via their manager that their main struggle is long balls. So in a way, Villa played right into Liverpool's hands. But I was always confident in Liverpool. I said they'll win by more than a goal, simply because it's a good stylistic matchup. Villa don't have the players to hurt Liverpool's fullbacks. Gessant yesterday, I mean, absolutely awful. The one guy that could try and get the ball and run at the fullbacks. But Slot basically reverted yesterday to what won him the league. If you want to call it Klopp's team, I guess, before it began with Ekitike in there. He needs to still find a way here to implement his team and his ideas. Because I'm sorry, even though Szoboszlai had a decent game, there is no way the long-term future for Liverpool is Szoboszlai in that number 10 role when you have Wirtz there. And again, I fully acknowledge Wirtz came on and he was really bad. But he still needs to sort it out. I really loved Ekitike yesterday. His touches, his link-up play. There were moments yesterday where we've seen the old Liverpool. They were fast, they were direct. And a clean sheet is always, of course, an added bonus. And we've seen the old Mo Salah. That was the most important thing. He was running and taking players on. I thought it'll be a 4-4-2 with Salah next to Ekitike, so you don't have to rely on Salah getting the ball and getting past players. But admittedly, he was up against, in my opinion, one of the poorest defensive fullbacks in the league. So all in all, it's too soon to say Liverpool are back. But this is how interesting the Premier League table is this season. That Liverpool win puts them up to third. From 10th to 3rd, of course, pending some teams playing today. So obviously Arsenal remain in firm control. Liverpool got the job done, though. They needed to get back to winning ways. It was a necessity. And very, very proud of my correct outcome in that one. And last but not least was another one. I said Real Madrid 3, Valencia 0. It finished 4-0. Valencia, I told you, they're absolutely terrible. So go all in on the handicaps. Minus 2.5, minus 1.5. We made some lovely chiching there. Jude Bellingham was sensational. And Mbappe with a couple of goals. But there's always one remark that unfortunately I have to make. Oh, Carreras, by the way, what a goal he got as well. And he fully deserved that goal. He's been incredible for Real Madrid this season. But there's always one remark. The crybaby wanted to take the penalty. How is this guy on penalty duties when he can't strike a ball? It's one of the worst penalties I've ever seen. So it's not enough that last week he let his whole team down by having that reaction and dominating the headlines when all the headlines should have been Real Madrid dominated Barcelona. No, then he took away Mbappe's hat-trick and he took the penalty and took one of the worst I've ever seen, just to completely sum up this kind of individual, pathetic. Mbappe, I've got a friendly piece of advice for you. You're on course to have a special season, okay? Do you think Cristiano Ronaldo would have ever given the penalty to Vinicius? You could break Ronaldo numbers. You gotta be more selfish. You have to. Obviously, football's a team game, but this idea of, oh, let me give Vinny a goal because otherwise he's gonna sulk. No. Real Madrid are better off without him, anyways. So start taking the penalties, go chase those records because you could have a special season this season. And of course, full credit to Xabi Alonso. The difference between Xabi's Real Madrid, like I've been telling you time and time again, even when they were not at their most convincing, and Ancelotti's Real Madrid is night and day. I can't remember the last time I've seen Real Madrid have back-to-back matches where they've looked that good in both matches. Onwards and upwards, Real Madrid, of course, remain in complete and utter control now. Just 10 wins, just the 1 defeat. Atletico Madrid, though, credit to them. They've got themselves back in all the pressure on Barcelona today. I'll catch you guys in the streams. We'll begin very early with the Inter game. So have a good day and let's continue this incredible momentum that we've built up. And then, of course, we'll cover everything Team of the Week and flops in tomorrow's video. Phoenix out.